Good evening, everyone. Thank you for taking time out of your evening. As people are coming in, I just want to say thank you. Time is a valuable asset, and so taking an hour out to share this evening with us is much appreciated. Got some. Oh, I see your daughter here, Bonnie. Jessica's on. That's great. If you're coming on, please use the chat not only for your questions during the webinar, but feel free to message us now. Let us know where you're calling in from. It'd be great to always is encouraging. Plus, then I know you can hear me. But feel free to comment. And again, thank you for taking time out. Sacramento. Hey, Carrie, how are you? Glad you're joining. Um, Tonight we're going to talk about well, first let me introduce myself. My name is Eddie Alberty. I'm the Vice President of Strategic Partnerships here at Market America and Shop.com. All that really means is that, I might be doing a deal with Visa or MasterCard or one of our partners on Monday, and on Tuesday I could be parking cars, whatever it takes. Um, I grew up with the company, and I make a joke. I tell people sometimes, I used to drive Mark and Lauren to school every day, which I did. I had a car. I had a car. They didn't. Now I make a joke that they drive me to school. So it's just on a yacht or a bigger car, a nicer car. But so I've been around a long time. I'm also an unfranchised owner, which is what I'm most proud about because I know what you're going through out there in the field and with programs and trying to hit Master UFO and trying to sell products, trying to talk to people, trying to figure it out. And so the NPO program is something that, in all fairness, I did not. I mean, I knew about it and I participated in talking about it in management team meetings, but until you really get under the hood and understand it and talking to unfranchised owners like Bonnie and Paula, who I have joining us tonight, it's really lit me up. And I'm excited to help and be a part of it. So, for all you attending on the call that have an interest, I can assure you that I'm going to do everything I can to give it the attention and the love that it needs and that it deserves within the Market America community, whether it's at events or if it's doing webinars like this, being available by email, whatever it takes. You know, we know that there's a lot of things that can be improved upon. That's always the case. Anytime you start thinking that you got it all figured out, then you're missing the point. So you can always learn and, looking at things that could be improved upon. We felt like that getting a new NPO, sales deck, if you will, that unfranchised owners could use and share with business owners that fit the criteria to be a nonprofit. And so Paula was real an advocate for us to update this, and so we did. And so feedback like that's very helpful. So for you in the field, both positive and negative, I love to hear it because at the end of the day, we just want to make it better. And that's my goal is to help unfranchise owners, if you will. I want to contribute more time to my own business now too. And I think the NPO program is a great way to do it because you're helping people. And you're also, and Bonnie and Paulo both talk about this, you can generate, really good volume if done right and if approached in the right way. So again, thank you for joining. I see Elaine Neiman. That's great. Thank you for joining. And what I'd like to do is first just introduce a few people on the panel, just so that you're aware. Again, use the Q&A or the chat to message, and we'll get to questions at the end if we have time, or maybe respond during the webinar if we can as well. Namari Borders, who's new at Market America, fairly new. He's got 3 or 4 months under his belt. Him and I are working closely together on this program and a few others as well. Love his excitement, his passion. He's young. He's fresh out of getting ready to graduate his MBA. So, great asset looking forward. We need this young blood, if you will, coming on to Market America, both in the field and at corporate, new fresh ideas, new points of view, et cetera. So very happy. And I've got Bonnie Hunter, who many of you know. I know I saw her daughter on the call as well, which is an unfranchised owner, but supervising coordinator and achieved Master UFO for both quarter ending on September 30th and working on this quarter. So she's going to hit it, no doubt. And then
I've
Paula
already
Hochman.
hit it,
You
Eddie.
did
I've
hit
already
it.
hit it.
There you go. See, that was a foresight. Thank you. That's great. So congratulations. I mean, we just got into the quarter too. That's awesome. And then Paula Hochman, who's also a supervising coordinator and also hit Master UFO for Q3 and Q4. So congratulations to you both. Thank you for attending. Thank you for taking time out because again, time is the valuable asset. I see Bonnie is a rock star in the chat. Yes, she is. And so tonight, I just want to again express the excitement, the willingness. Corporate wants to make this program better. We've had different people that have had their hands on it, and people move on. Kevin Buckman went to Asia. Things happen,
Mhm.
but I'm glad to be able to help. And in any way, I'm an open book. Many of you have my email address, but I'm happy to share it in the chat. But reach out to me because Namari and I both are going to really do what we can to make the program better. And so, with that being said, we do have a new deck that I want to go through at least just so you know where it is and let you see it. But before doing that, I'd like for Bonnie to have the opportunity and Paula just to say a little bit about their point of view on the NPO program and how it works within their business, and then we'll get into it and have Q&A at the end. So thank you. Bonnie, if you'd like to share with us, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Eddie. Thank you for inviting me to join today. And thank you for your willingness to take this little known entity to the next level because I really feel like it's a hidden gem that can fill a lot of gaps for all the unfranchised owners. Um, you know, we're in the season of giving right now, and every time you walk out of a store, there's a table there, and somebody's wanting you to give to a nonprofit. And one of the things I love to do is say, "Tell me a little bit more about your mission. Tell me what you're doing." And I'm always interested, and I say, "Well, rather than giving you a one-time donation, I would love to help you with ongoing funding." Is the head of the nonprofit here today? Sometimes they are, and sometimes right then and there you can get a hold of the 501(c)(3 and move things forward to the next meeting. You know, it there's so much opportunity. And as you're meeting with friends and family over the next few weeks, so many people are going to talk about gifting, and they're going to say, instead of giving Aunt Thelma $50, she asked me to donate $50 to Alzheimer's research or whatever. When people have a passion for a nonprofit, there's a possibility that we can open up that door and even walk through it to, again, give them ongoing funding. This is what differentiates us from almost anybody else that is out there willing to give out money, is that ours is ongoing funding, week to week, month to month, year to year, and there's no catch to it. We don't ask them for a dime. We put the website up for free, and we allow them to have 100% of the profit margin. So that's a win-win-win. Right, Paula?
Exactly. I got in the habit when I run into people like Bonnie said, and I say, wow, this is amazing. How much of what you raise goes directly to the cause? And a lot of them will say, gosh, I don't know. And I said, I'd really love to talk with someone about that. And I learned that from a couple nonprofits that I already work with, where they say 95 cents of every dollar goes back to the cause. And that's when I realized that's who I want to work with. And like Bonnie said, we donate 100% of the profit. Like Big Al says, 100% of 100%. And how many times have I been told that's too good to be true or that's impossible? Well, for 33 years, it's worked. And I had a nonprofit ask me the other day, what's the catch? And I said, the catch is you have to look at it and see what it's all about. And if you want to buy amazing products that are safe for nature, animals, and people, and the every bit of the environment, you can get your cleaning products from us and you can earn the retail profit for, well, the donations, the ongoing donations for the nonprofit. But I said, it's all about just transferring your buying habits. And if they're local, they have me. If they're local, they have Bonnie. And if they're not local, I treat them just like any partner. You have to remember they're your partner. You signed an agreement to take care of them, to coach, mentor, and train. And that's what JR was always about. And that's what we do with nonprofits.
I love it. And that's a great motto to have. And I think with that approach, how do you not like the program? Again, And Bonnie's done a great job of helping me understand just all the different types of nonprofits, to be quite frank. I mean, there are a lot out there, and they're looking for ways
Yes.
to raise revenue to their cause. And so this is helping them. And not only is it helping them, it's giving them, a lot of times they don't have like an e-commerce or internet experience, or, they're in the church, or they're at the, helping pets, whatever it may be, that they're nonprofits for. And it may not cross over to the online opportunity. So this is another avenue that they can leverage and take advantage of. So I'm going to share and just go through this deck to some extent.
Mhm.
I don't want to read it by any means. More importantly, oh well, let's do this. Everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Wonderful. So again, we have a revised deck. The one we had was a little outdated, and it just needed to make it more 20, I guess I should say 2026 now, since we're at the cusp of it. I'm sure we could improve upon it. Anybody that has feedback or constructive criticism, more than willing to hear that. But for now, we do have at least this updated deck. It starts by talking about what the mission kind of statement is, and what the program's about, and how it works. Um, these slides are just to grab their attention. It's not something that you have to use. Sometimes talking to people is actually even better, and talking in themes. But some of these have really good points that you can share with the nonprofit, because sometimes you may not have the time to do the full presentation. But if you can get them to sit down, this presentation does cover the cornerstones and the major points of the program. Talks about their challenges to raise money. They're already doing some fundraising, of course, but again, we're giving them another, kind of arrow in the quiver that they can use to raise money for their good cause. Also, it's going to talk about, of course, that they get a website, our exclusive brands, which again is the 100% of 100% of 100%. And, that's the value that it's going to help you as well, and people within your organization. A little bit about the company, just letting them know that we're legit, solid, growing, that type of thing. Can't include in a presentation, not talk about our founders. It gives you an opportunity. I mean, JR's whole motto was helping people. If you're helping other people, then you're going to be growing. You're going to be a hopeless success, he used to say. Executive and leadership team talks a little bit about the cornerstones of our company, about the product brokerage concept, internet marketing. I'm not going to play this. Great video, though, but I'm not going to sit there and go through that. But again, for some people that have a trouble talking, sometimes the video, is all you need. Our brands, which lets people know they can earn. Another video talks a little bit about the partner stores. Again, cashback and shopping at partner stores, especially during this season, is everybody's doing it. Whether even if they're buying e-gift cards, or they're shopping at their favorite department store or whatever. I mean, more and more people are, as are shopping online versus going into stores. So why not provide a conduit for them to earn on that? It's not going to be as much as the exclusive brands, but it contributes. It helps, and it helps them to develop a reservoir, if you will, of cash back. I'm a big fan of the cash back. I'm glad that we're now doing cash back, and it's going to take us into next quarter where we can fully get our partners to recognize now that we're a full cashback model, and we'll start getting more commissions from them. And what does that mean? More commissions means, more cash back for you and your customers. 3 ways to earn, pretty simple. The cash back I talked about, the royalties, which you earn from retail profit and selling the Market America brands. And then, of course, the MPCP, or ongoing potential weekly royalties. And Bonnie and Paula can talk a little bit more about that towards the end, about how they strategize and place it within their business to help both the NPO as well as other people potentially in the organization. cash back. You guys kind of, the how you earn NPCP commissions, et cetera. But I think the biggest point that I took away, and Paula hit on it too, is that the NPO is receiving 100% of that retail profit. And that can be significant, on products that people need and will help change their life with their health, whether it's health and nutrition or beauty products, so really any of that. And then we do deposit ACH directly into the NPO's bank account. There's a process which we'll talk through in a minute, how they qualify and confirm that they are a legit 501(c), but it's really pretty easy to get started. Again, you guys know the compensation plan, but this is more for the NPO that doesn't know it. Sometimes personally, I kind of save this. I kind of just hit them with the high level points that they're going to earn and the opportunity, and then maybe book a follow-up and come back and get into the details of this when I'm personally prospecting. But again, it's each his own, and it depends on really a person that's sitting across the table from you. Here's the NPO requirements. Well, again, they have to be a 501(c). They have a qualified Market America and franchise owner that's bringing them in, if you will, and then they just have to complete and sign the agreement and documentation that we need. And then the unfranchised owner agrees that they're going to support them, and do everything they can for the NPO. And it's really simple. I mean, they just they get the website, as Bonnie said, for free, and they're going to promote the exclusive products, directing people to the website, talking to individuals that have relevant needs for health and nutrition, which we all do, especially today, more and more, rising healthcare costs, et cetera. And there's a way to prevent a lot of that stuff if you start now. If you're on a good program, you're on good products. And we wouldn't have been around 33 years now, I guess, if we didn't have great products that did change people's lives. And then, this just kind of gets into where you kind of, I wouldn't say closing them, but you're basically, letting them know, hey, look, you do qualify for this. You don't have to pay anything. You don't have to jump through any hoops. And then again, this always kind of works for me, is you're probably thinking, can this work for us? And then what the next steps are, whether it's booking a follow-up or getting them going. Maybe it's sometimes just trying some of our products, getting them at least registered as a customer to earn cash back. So there's a lot of wins here that talking about the NPO program may lead to something else. Maybe they individually want to become an franchise owner. Surely you're not going to say no, because if you don't want to sponsor them, I will, and I'm sure Bonnie will, and Paula will, many other franchise owners will. But, there is a method to the madness, and there is a way to get them started the correct way. And I think that Bonnie and Paula really have done a good job, because they have multiple NPOs, not just one, but multiples that are succeeding. And so again, sometimes it's just about booking that follow-up to get more information. Don't leave the meeting or the presentation without booking that follow-up if you can. That's always, JR taught me that. So I'm going to stop sharing. That's really it. I think the main point I wanted to get across is that we do have a new deck, and it's available on the franchise. If you just search under support materials, you search NPO, it's gonna pop up. We also have the FAQs there too. So if you have questions that maybe you can't answer, I suggest you use that. The FAQs kind of addresses many of them. We probably need to look at that too, and maybe even update it. I may ask for some help there from Bonnie, Paula, anybody else that would like to help there. I'm real big about really working closely with the field, because at the end of the day, sometimes decisions are made at the office. I say the office, the corporate office. And in all fairness, it's not a dig at anybody, but they don't know what the heck people are going through out there in the field and what they're doing. And JR was he used to pound his fist on the table about it. He's like, you don't know what it's like to be out there. And until you do, it's hard to make decisions that impact people's businesses. So I'm a big fan of working with the field, working with you guys. And I am the field too. I mean, again, I wish I had more time. I got two young kids running around here right now. My wife, Megan, who also works at the company, she's on a work trip. She's the legal representation for us. And I'm thinking, I need a plan B. I, I need a get ready for college education. I need to be ready for next year for Christmas. And so these are, just another thing that you can do to add to your, repertoire, if you will, of things that you can offer people that not only help them meet their needs, but they can also help them financially, help you financially, help your organization. And so ultimately, I think that this program really, as Bonnie said, can be a hidden gem. And so I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to go. Thank you, Carmen. I appreciate that. I'm going to look at the chat and see if there's anything that maybe popped up. But Bonnie, Paula, feel free to add anything. Um, and, I'll leave it up to you guys.
Well, I know, we talked about this a little bit the other day, but when I looked at the nonprofit program, whenever we launched it, because I always jumped right in when JR said jump right in. So I looked at it and said, well, I like 10 different nonprofits. How do I support that many with a meaningful contribution? And I'm like, I don't make enough money to be meaningful to all of them. And if you think that way now, where people talk more and more about money being stretched, if you say, maybe I was brought up to give 10% of what I make. So if that 10% is going to nonprofits that we're helping and they're all stacked, like you would stack your other business partners where it makes sense. The nonprofits, maybe I love, I'm known as the world's best aunt because I wasn't blessed with children, so I take on everybody else's. And I like the nonprofits that have to do with children's activities, that have to do with education and things like that. There's so many of them that are hurting, and they all work together. And even if they have nothing to do with each other, people will say, wow, I like Bonnie has this nonprofit and I love that one. And look, they help the school sports team and they help this team with education and they help this Montessori school, whatever the nonprofit is. I think it's amazing the doors it opens. And as Kevin Buckman said years ago, he said, you have to realize it's another tool to expose our business opportunity to the right people. And by the right people, the people who want to take a look, because everybody's the right person.
Right. Couple questions that I did run across. What should we provide to an NPO that wants a copy of the program? I mean, this deck can be downloaded, but I recommend actually sharing it with them, like being in front of them. I think because then you can gauge people's reaction. It's probably a pretty large file. I don't know if you could just email it to them, but I don't know if Bonnie or Paul, if you guys have thoughts on that.
We have a little flyer in the back office that's customizable, but it basically just shows them that there's several different ways we can generate revenue for them. Usually there's not a tool that's going to talk to them like we can.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, we need to be the ones that present that. Because if they had the deck of PowerPoints without us, it wouldn't have the same appeal. It wouldn't have the same impact. So I think booking the appointment, if they're not close and you can't do it in person, then set up a Zoom. And most everybody is interested in looking at the fact that you're willing to give them this. I point that out to them. I mean, we want to give you ongoing funding. We want to give you people to help you with that. We want to help you hit your goals, not just this week, not just this month, not this year, but in the future, even scale your goals. So most of the time they're very, very interested in sitting down with us then.
And I do, like Bonnie said, I use that flyer and I say to them, okay, Eddie, what would you like your nonprofit website to be called? And they'll tell me. And I create it with their website name, their domain name, and I stress, this is not a real site. Don't click on it. Don't go to it. But I say, imagine this flyer. You're going to have it at all your events. If you're local, you're going to have me standing there with you. And you're going to put a link to this flyer on every newsletter you send out. And some of them actually say, I never thought about sending out a newsletter, because some of these are startup nonprofits.
Yeah.
And then we can partner them with nonprofits that are already successful. But everybody is still looking. I mentioned the other day, one of the things that opens the door for me a lot of times is when people start talking when I'm out at meetings in person, and they say, oh gosh, we could really use a contribution of a gift card. And I said, well, where are you going to get those? Oh, I thought I'd just go to such and such a store. And I said, or you could go to my shop.com site and you would be earning cash back. You'd get the nonprofit email, the email right away that you can send to somebody. But as a nonprofit, people are donating gift cards all the time. And I say, why wouldn't you go to the nonprofit site, buy the gift cards? And of course, we know gift cards all have different amounts of cash back or if they qualify, but it doesn't matter. You're still getting people on the site, and it's all about the site stickiness. And they see our amazing site that the nonprofit's name is on. And it's like, wow, what else do they have? And
Yeah.
it's like an individual. Get them to that site. That site's impressive.
Yeah, and Bonnie
Absolutely.
even had some ideas about creatively, strategically, how we can maybe even make it stand out a little bit more. And I really liked it. So it's a good takeaway that we're gonna look at it internally to see if we can do that for NPOs. Just make it stand out a little bit more and uh, make that work. So there's a couple other questions, but Bonnie, I think you were going to say something, so I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, no, I was just agreeing with Paula at the moment.
Okay, great. Here's a question I'm not sure I know the answer, but I think I do because again, they would have to be in the NPCP. But can an NPO earn the $600 management bonus? I think that would only
Yes,
be yeah.
yes. They cannot on they get a primary center and they can, if they have a left and a right that's built and so they can earn up to 2,100 bucks in the week.
Great. That's excellent. Thank you for that. Here's one, and I don't know if anybody will know the answer to this, but I'm going to throw it out there. Are there any nonprofits that do not qualify, as in a 501c charitable organization versus a 501c nonprofit social club and recreational clubs? Not sure what that
As
is.
long as their 501c status
501c.
is federal and not just state. When I've
Got
been
it.
working within some states, there'll be some nonprofits that are state tax exempt, but they're not federally seen. So as long as they have a federal tax exemption, we not only allow all the 501, so there's a C3, 1 through 28, but sometimes you'll find that there's nonprofits that work within churches. And
Yep.
those are like a 170B. They're, as long as they have a tax exempt status, when we originally put this together, it was a win-win because the company gets to write it off as a tax, break. And at the same time, we're benefiting and blessing a good mission, and we're making our name, marketamericashop.com, look even more powerful out there. And like Paula was mentioning about stacking it, not only can you stack this in your organization where you have a need for volume, but you could have a small nonprofit that you like, and you know that they have 20 supporters and they're not going to get far with 20 supporters. But if you drop every nonprofit left, right down through there, then you're going to generate them the royalties down the way. And that would be a real win for a small nonprofit like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great point because not every nonprofit you're going to hit on is going to be Habitat for Humanity, like I think Paula works with. So I think that's a great point. You know that small, medium, large, et cetera, they still have their place and can provide value to you building your business, but also you can help them. So that again, a lot of them, as you said, may just be starting out. They may not have all the procedures in place, et cetera. So they're looking for things like this, and if you catch them at the right time, they could really, really catch fire with it.
Amazing value to us too, Eddie, because there's no purging or flushing of the business volume. So the business volume is going to accrue for 365 days. So that in itself is, no stress. And I saw that Sunny had put in the chat that she was going to reach out to a church. And The easy thing is everybody in that congregation, they have to do laundry, they have to clean things, they have needs, right? And if Procter and Gamble will never give them 100% of the profit margin on their product, but if we can get them to switch to Snap, then they have that. And it's so scalable. I find that in most churches, or even nonprofits, 20% of the people provide 80% of the money or do 80% of the work. So I usually only do my estimates, even in Excel spreadsheet, on 20% saturation, like we used to, Paula, with the Nutrimetrics accounts, right? We didn't go into a doctor's office and say everybody's going to salute this and purchase right
Right.
away. We'd look for 10 to 20% saturation and then to scale that.
Mhm.
And that can have huge returns.
Love it. And we strategized a little bit before this webinar, just putting our thoughts together, team. And one of the things that I think this is a good starting place. We got the new deck, great. End of the year, it's gifting season. Bonnie's giving you some advice on how to approach NPOs and how to maybe set the appointment. And so I think this is a good starting point. I think as we get into early 2026, I would like to do another webinar and get a little bit more in the weeds about strategy. Both Bonnie and Paula have had success here, and they have, some learnings that I think, or some teachings that would be very helpful for you, that also have an interest in this program. So I encourage you now to, if you haven't done so yet, run it up the flagpole. Look out for some of those NPOs that would be a good fit, that maybe you have an affinity toward, an allegiance towards, or a passion about, because that's going to help you as well. You can feel good about it. You're going to help the NPO. And then as we get into 2026 early, we'll do another one, and we'll get a little bit more into the weeds on what some of the success are, some of the teachings, takeaways, and love some more testimonials. So get out there, run it up the flagpole, set the appointment, share back with us. I'm going to put my email in the chat. Don't abuse it, but I do respond. I'll get back pretty quickly to everyone, because again, you are what makes the company run. It's teamwork. It's teamwork makes the dream work, for sure.
And since I think it was Sunny who mentioned that she has already is reaching out to somebody, keep in mind everybody has an office. So I always say to the nonprofit, where do you order your office supplies? Because they usually give me a point person who's going to be ordering, and that person is going to be ordering all of their needs. Like at Habitat, that's what they did.
We should talk separately, because you bring up something that, I was at one time going after some office product providers, and we had a few,
Yeah.
and it ebbed and flowed and whatnot. But I know that I could find another one, whether it's, United Stationers that we once had, which is they supply like Staples and, Office Depot and whatnot. So we should talk more about that, because if I can find some of those partners that you think are relevant, which that's an obvious one, I can certainly tag team that and in tandem, which will then help the program as well. I don't have anything else really to add. I know that we could probably talk. I don't like to just waste people's time, because again, time is so valuable, but I think that we've covered a lot. I hope that for those of you on the call, it sparked an interest. And again, reach out to me if you have any questions, comments. If we didn't get back to you in the chat, we download it, we'll look at it, and Amari or I will reach out to you. We'll answer any questions maybe you have. But more than anything, I just want to, the new deck is in the back office. Use it, go talk to someone, and have fun doing it. So tonight was fun for me, because again, I'm getting more back to my business building self. I want to get back to like talking to people and prospecting and helping people, and this is exciting for me. So thank you for your time. And Paula, Bonnie, again, thank you for your time, because you could be doing 1,000 other things, I'm sure. So thank
You.
you.
Thank you, Eddie.
Yep. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Go get it. Have a wonderful holiday season. If I don't talk to you before you know it, it'll be Icon, or excuse me, Leadership School. I've leapfrogged that one. So I'm excited about that. For those of you that are out there trying to build for Master UFO, I just encourage you, as JR always said, keep growing. Each day, have fun, try to be better than the day before. And there's going to be bumps and valleys, if you will. There's also high points and peaks. So just keep trying. Surround yourself with the right people. Smile a lot and have fun helping other people. Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.